Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy juicefart Gaming. Back at it was a actually brand new video, and today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. Cause today I have a story time for you guys, and I think you guys might find this insane. Cause I kid you not, every time I think about what happened in this story, it's just insane to me, and I think you guys might love it. So today we're gonna be talking about how a creepy, very creepy gay dude was stalking me and started this whole fiasco and lies and whatnot. It's a very interesting story. So sit back, go get some popcorn or whatever you eat. I don't know, and enjoy the video. That was a horrible intro. So this all began when I was just starting in my freshman year of college, and I was exactly about 19. And for a moment during the middle of my first semester, I saw everything was going great. I met a lot of new people, made new friends, saw some old ones. But for the purpose of this story, of course, we're going to be focused on an individual who is creepy as hell, and especially towards dudes who aren't even gay. And also turned out that this guy had a history of this kind of stuff. So I'm going to be naming him Creepy Joe, right? And you may be wondering, well, Dan, how did this all start? Well, I first met this guy in the campus cafeteria. I was sitting by myself, and I see this guy fooling around with other people, and I thought, hey, this guy's pretty chill. He seems funny, and I interacted with him. Was the best, like, oh, that was funny, or whatever, right? He then all became very instantly interactive with me, and interested in me. Oh my god, interested in me, and if you ever played Dispatch, you know how Blonde Blazer came very strong was Robert. Yeah, that was him. This dude when he first interacted with me, but gay. Nothing wrong with skinny people, by the way. But it turns out that this guy, right, when talking to him a little bit, he had a lot of we had a lot of common interests. By the way, forgot to say that he liked playing video games. He had autism like me. We sort of related a bit. But it turns out that he knew a mutual friend that I once knew. I don't really talk to this mutual friend anymore. But for the purpose of the story, this mutual friend that we both knew, his name is going to be Derek, right? And Derek and I was pretty close at the time. And of course, when I first figured out that Creepy Joe knew Derek and had his number, I was like, yo, we should exchange number, swap phones real quick, and just mess with Derek, right? And of course, we called up Derek, and he was confused. Right? And we were like, yo, Derek, where you at? He was like, oh, I'm in the library. So we pulled up, had a nice normal conversation, and that was about it. Right? Nothing really happened, right? Well, yeah, at least. And, of course, Derek and I used to be very close, so we would play Xbox a lot with each other. And Derek told me how odd Creepy Joe can be. For starters, well, Creepy Joe is gay. Right, nothing wrong with that. Once again, and he had a crush on Derek. And the thing you need to keep in mind is that Derek isn't really gay. Neither am I, right? And Derek at the time had a girlfriend, right? And I was like, oh, I mean, why is he saying? Why are you saying he's weird or whatnot? And then Derek explains to me at one point during their mid conversation on text, apparently Creepy Joe described to him about a specific dream, and I'm gonna try to put this in PG as best as I could. He had a very watery dream, and you know how water tends to feel. It feels wet, so if you could put two and two together, you might know where I'm trying to go at. So I was like, oh, okay. And at first, we both thought that he just had poor social cue. Because we were aware that he had autism. I myself had autism. I myself had problem with social cues. So I couldn't judge him, and we just thought he was pretty harmless. Just a bit odd, and I was like, Dan, how the hell do you not, what? You should have cut with him off in the first place. And I'm like, what? I don't know. But anyway, the next day after this, this guy obviously has my number, Creepy Joe. He texts, I'm on my gaming laptop, and I was playing Dying Light 2 at the time. Dying Light 2 was brand new, right? So it was a good game, by the way. But this guy texted me saying, "Yo, look up, right?" And how our campus is like set is that we have like a balcony structured, like our building is like a circle, right? And there's like a balcony around this like inner circle. I don't know how to explain it, but he's staring down straight up. Fuck. He's staring straight down at me, and I look up, and I was like, oh. And he rushed downstairs and just sat next to me. I mean, I never really asked him to sit next to me, but I kind of let him. I don't know. And he was just watching me play Dying Light. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm tired as hell. Anyways, I didn't think too much of it, right? And I could tell the guy was acting a little weird. Remember how I said he came off a little strong? Yeah, you might see where this is going to be lead into, right? Because at one point I had to like get out of class, right? No, I meant out of the campus, or goddamn it, the cafeteria to go to my next class, right? And when I was going to my next class, this dude literally texted me saying, "Oh, when do you get out?" And I'm like, I was like, I don't know, like 6, 7, whatever. And I was like, this a little odd, right? And I wasn't really like, I don't know, planning on like going in the cafeteria to sit down or whatnot. But I was actually planning on playing Pokemon Go, right? But I didn't really tell him. But this guy was like literally waiting for me outside. I kid you not. After I finished my class, right, this class, and I was playing Pokemon Go, like I just wanted to catch Pokemon. This guy was waiting for me outside. I'm like, oh hi, right? And then all of a sudden, just randomly invites himself. Like he literally just dead ass started playing Pokemon Go with me. I'm like, okay. So at this point, this felt like borderline following, right? But like I didn't say anything because I'm like I said, I don't know. The guy is harmless so far. Right? Oh god. And one point we were sitting, and I could tell like something was odd because once again I was aware that he had a crush on Derek. God, and I'm like, dude, why are you acting weird? And he was like, oh, I'm like, you're like acting all flirty, because I forgot to mention he was like flirting with me half of the time. And yeah, I was like, dude, do you have like a crush on me or something? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, well, dude, you do realize I'm also straight, right? And he's like, I know. I was like, all right, well, if we're gonna still be friends, you might have to set boundaries, you know? And he was like, okay, right? And we talked about it a little bit, right? And I don't know, I'm trying to be a good bro. I'm trying to be a good friend, right? And I guess that was clearly not enough, because another situation that is very important, because God, I cannot forget about this part of the story. Think like what? Back in high school, there was this kid that used to pick on me, and I saw Creepy Joe hanging out with him and still trying to be a good friend. I did warn about him a little bit, right? I was like, yo, that guy's not good. I mean, what's your relationship with him? Like, how long have you known him? Whatever, right? The dude said, Creepy Joe, he said that he was apparently friends with Benefit with him. And for those who do know or do not know, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. If you know, you know. And I was like, oh, your friend was Benefits. I was like, okay. And I don't know why I did any of that. I mean, like, it should have not been my business, but, like, I don't know. I mean, the guy back then was a jerk. He, like, picked on me in high school, like, bruh. Then the next day, things started to become more interesting. Because keep in mind, there's one thing I have not yet to mention, which is I have autism, and my autism features two really annoying disability, which is ADHD and OCD. And not that the ADHD is a problem, but the one thing that is a problem is my OCD. Now, the thing is you need to know is that OCD isn't really about cleanliness. OCD can really mess a person's mind, and when I mean mess a person's mind, it can continually make somebody overthink. It continually disrupt a person's daily activity, and it could literally strike up anxiety, causing you to become obsessed. And unfortunately, I was yet to be treated with my OCD. And another thing I need to keep in mind is that my OCD in the past has ruined so many relationships. Now, I can't really fully blame my OCD because, it's still my fault. But at the same time, it's a 50-50, And if you do research, you could see what I'm talking about. But it does mess with a person's mind. It is no joke. I have lost so many friends, and it's going to include one particular person that I lost. So, to keep this in mind, Creepy Joe told me that somebody, this guy that I warned about, was spreading rumors about me. And I was like, wait, what rumor? Right? And he proceeds to explain to me that, this guy is saying, like, telling people around that apparently I had my meat out in the middle of class and I got beaten up because I was being creepy towards that girl. And I was like, what? And I asked him if there's any proof of this, and he said, well, I don't have proof, he only said it in, person. I was like, alright, but if you can, talk to him in text, maybe we could, address this, because this is, a issue that shouldn't be allowed, especially considering that it's not true at all. It's just disgusting and foul, matter of fact. Very disgusting. What? Who in the right mind would take their meat out in the middle of high school class? What? What? That shit's nasty, bro. That is disgusting. At this point, this is just, borderline sexual harassment, now that I think about this. But anyways, I was like, alright, if you could tell me the evidence, you could show me the evidence, that'd be really much appreciated. And I asked him, why is he, telling me this? Because I thought this guy was, friend with benefit. If you're a friend with benefit of this person, you gotta be somewhat close to them, right? And he came up with the sly saying that he doesn't like bullies. Can you believe it, guys? He does not like bullies. And I could tell, and don't worry, by the end of this video, you're going to figure out how much of full of shit he is. Because Creepy Joe, if you're watching this, buddy, I still hate you. And I, honestly, you suck, dude. You really do. You really suck. You ruined a lot of stuff. And I'm about to explain one thing that he ruined. Now, there was a political science class I had, right? And this was after I just found out that this guy had a crush on me. And there was this or maybe before, I don't know. It was a long time ago. This was 2 years ago at this point. Or 3, 5, I don't know. But, no, 5? That's 2020. I'm an idiot. But, anyway, there was this girl, and I'm going to name her Kara, right? And Kara would watch me play games on my gaming laptop, because sometimes I'll get bored in class. No, and I had a gaming laptop, so I was playing Gary's Mod, and I was just doing some whack stuff, and she was just laughing about it. She thinks that it was funny, and she wanted to get to know me a bit more, and I was like, yo. And it turned out we also had a lot of similar interests. We were Christians. We wanted to be closer to God or whatnot, and she would share with stuff that. She would share personal stuff with me that she never had told anybody else. I don't know if she told anyone else after this. But this was something I should not have taken granted, because, I don't know, I was starting to develop feeling for Kara, and she was really nice. I feel like she understood me, and she was she trusted me, and I just took it for granted. And you'll see why in the end of this video. But obviously, after being very aware of, Creepy Joe's romantic crush in me, I did give him the hint, yo, by the way, dude, I'm talking to someone. Well, technically, I guess, I don't know. Nothing really ever happened between me and Kara, by the way. Just gonna put that out. But I told him yo, by the way, I'm talking to someone, because I know this guy probably still had a crush on me. Still, because I could tell he's still being very, very oddly flirty with me, right? And yeah, but he seemed a little sad on text about it. Take that. But yeah, and there's one thing I did forget to mention. There's one thing I need to put out. This guy, I don't really know how, but apparently he says that Creepy Joe, by the way, he says that he works with the office aide and has a government account? Well, sure enough, he does, because apparently his family member is like military personnel or whatnot. So I'm like, okay, interesting. So that's going to be very important because, yeah. And here's another very crucial part of the story, right? Cause, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm doing a lot of plot holes, but this part is really important. I promise you guys. So at one point, I know, I don't know if anybody remembers, but that ChatGPT was relatively new back in the day, right? And was the rise of AI and whatnot came was the anti AI cheat detection system or whatnot, right? And this was all relatively new and stuff. And sometimes these anti AI detection, whatever the hell they call it, I don't know what they use. It would make mistake, and unfortunately, I got accidentally flagged for plagiarism, and I had to talk to the professor and yada yada yada. And for some reason, I told Creepy Joe about this story. So yeah, and that's gonna be another. That's gonna be very crucial, right? Because right now I did two mistakes just now. I just told Creepy Joe about the plagiarism incident, and I told him about Kara, right? And you'll find out later in this video because after all that, after like him telling me about that guy spreading rumors, allegedly, of course. I've been trying to ask him for like proof. He's still yet to give it to me, by the way. So I don't know what's taking this long, but whatever. And yeah, and I'm trying to think. And one day, speaking of government, one day I got a random call from the military. Now, you may be confused by this now. Like, Dan, how the hell is the military involved? Remember how Creepy Joe said he was like what, part of a government family and whatnot? So at this time, I didn't put two and two together, but I had a sergeant calling me saying, "Hey, by the way, your friend Dom recommended you to be whatever." I'm like, "Who the hell is Dom?" He's like, "Well, Dom, he said you wanted to be in the military." I'm like, "I never said that. I don't even know who Dom is." And I believe the sergeant was a girl. It was a long time ago. But she said, like, "Well, how do you not know Dom?" I'm like, "I don't know who he is." Right? And we had a small conversation and hung up. And the next day, Creepy Joe asked me about the call. And I was like, "Hey, how do you know?" And he's like, "Oh, I got the similar call." It's like, "Oh, that's very weird." Right? Now, I believe this was in the middle of October, when things started to go even more down. You see, after everything was like happening, I started getting very weirded out with Creepy Joe. After telling him to like stop being very weird and flirty, he at one point touched my head because there was like a lot of furs on my hat. I'm like, dude, what the hell? But then came the last straw. See, one time I let him sat next to me. Right, and I'm already getting tired of him because this guy is like everywhere. He's making me uncomfortable. He's following me. It's clear that this dude still has a crush on me. He's still obsessed with me. He's so bothered by Kara, to the point like I even asked Kara, like, "Yo, can you sit with me in the cafeteria? That way this guy can leave me alone or whatnot, make it look like we're together or something." Because I kid you not, at one point, when I was letting him like sit next to me, watching me play Dying Light 2, this guy, and I quote not, was like, "Oh, by the way, I pretend to sleep with you by using a pillow." And I'm like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, I used a pillow and pretended it was you." And I'm like, oh my god, I need to get away from him. Right? So from that forward on, I had to quietly cut him out because this is not working. I told this guy about boundaries, and it's like he completely forgets about it. And I told Derek about it, and Derek was shocked. He was like, "Bro, this guy is weird." And every day, he's getting weirder and weirder and weirder and goddamn weirder. Right? Then things started to get even more worse. Because at one peaceful afternoon, I get an email from the dean herself saying that apparently someone had reported an incident that allegedly happened that I did, and I was super confused. And once again, OCD and anxiety, they are as bad as a winter storm. I'm gonna put it that way. The current winter storm I'm in, God, Yeah, there's a winter storm currently where I am going on, but blah, 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 blah. But my God, my anxiety started to go crazy because I became very obsessed with this email because I had no idea what I could have possibly did wrong. You know, all I did was be a normal good student, right? And I'm like trying to call up the school dean, and they refused to give me the answer. They think we're gonna have to meet with the dean, make an appointment. Like, bruh. So yeah, and I'm telling Kara about this. Kara is getting worried about me, right? And whatnot, and she's trying to support me, you know, and yeah, and even offered to come with, but she didn't end up doing so. And then I was so desperate to the point where, like, hey, you know what? As much as I'm starting to get really uncomfortable with Creepy Joe, I'm kind of desperate because I don't know what's going on. So I told Creepy Joe, like, yo, you say you work with the office, right? And he's like, yeah. And he was like, well, can you help me out with this one? Because I have no idea what's going on. He's like, yeah, I'll let you know. Next day, he comes up and tells me, by the way, it was about that whole plagiarism stuff. I was like, okay, thank you, right? And after that, I mean, I don't know, I didn't forgive him about the whole weird stuff he said, but like after that, I guess he assumed. I'm so dumb, bro. Why did I go with to him like after that whole situation? Like what? Like what was I thinking? Like Dan, you have like I don't know how many chromosomes or what kind of survival skill I have, but my God, that was stupid. Yeah, you can clown on me. I'm dying, but. After that, I was like, all right, I'm still going to probably quietly, like, get away from him. Because, like, you know, there were times where, like, there was one particular night before the whole, like, end game of this situation. We're about to get in, like, what, maybe 10 minutes or whatnot. You know, at one point, I wanted to be by myself. And freaking Creepy Joe keeps coming towards me. I'm like, dude, Creepy Joe, just leave me alone, dude. I don't want to be, like, please. Not now. And he just... It's clear he didn't get that hint because I did not want to talk to this guy at all. And I know you were saying, like, Dan, you literally just, whatever, like, ask him about the situation. But I was like, dude, I don't know. The guy works at whatever. Might as well try to take as many opportunities to, like, calm myself down and whatnot. You guys know what I mean. Like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just yapping and rambling, like I'm mumbling. But later on this important day, the day before everything goes haywire, Derek comes sits with me, you know, and I'm telling Derek, oh yeah, I forgot to mention about this. Before I met up with Derek, I'm so sorry. Yeah, Creepy Joe gave me a love charm before I met up with Derek. A love charm. After I told him many times to leave me alone, this guy comes back with a love charm. And I almost threw up. So I'm telling Derek and showing him the love charm. And Derek was like, oh my God, this guy is insane. This guy won't leave me alone. And this is like my first semester of college. And this is already happening to me. Like, God damn it, Creepy Joe. You're such a bitch. I hope you know that. I if you're watching this video, I do not want to say anything that'll get me demonetized because I am a nice, innocent little boy. I'm not a little boy. Oh my God. What? But anyways, then the next day came where I finally have to meet with the dean. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to meet the one, the only, and I'm gonna name the dean. I don't know, Shaquille O'Neal, even though she was a woman. so I'm talking to Shaquille O'Neal, right? And Shaquille O'Neal was trying to make a conversation with me, and I could tell she was trying. Oh yeah, guys, I forgot to mention about this part. I think I left a plot hole when I asked Creepy Joe about him trying to figure out why I was being called to the dean office. So he came back saying, oh, it was about the whole plagiarism stuff. That's why I meant, like, the whole plagiarism, whatever, that mistake, that whole accident was important, because eventually, when he did tell me this, I asked the dean if I asked my history professor if she said anything, and she said, no, I never really went to the dean, right? And that's when things started to get even more scarier and suspicious. Right, back to the video. I'm going to be very vague with me. I can't believe I'm naming her Shaquille. I'm laughing at my own jokes. That's embarrassing, but... No, so Shaquille O'Neal was being very vague about me, toward me, and I'm like, alright, cut the crap. Why am I here? So Shaquille O'Neal explained to me that an individual has claimed to her that I wanted to, pat Kara inappropriately, trying to be very PG, pat Kara in a no-no area, and wanted to stalk a professor. And I was like, what? Why in the world would I want to do any of that? So I was losing my mind even more. So I really wanted to know who was behind this, because I'm telling the dean, like, yo, I did not do any of that. You gotta believe me. And for some odd reason, she said she did. And I don't know why she's easily believing me like that. But clearly I'm under investigation for no fucking reason. Thanks, Creepy Joe. Thanks. And, I'm telling her, like, look, this is a false accusation. And alright, I believe you, but you're going to have to stay away from the person that's doing this false accusation. I'm like, how the bloody hell am I supposed to know who this person is? So I started listing name. Unfortunately, that includes Kara, because I don't know if she's behind it either. I literally just met the girl, but she was denying all sort of names. So then it clicks. So remember how I said that that Creepy Joe, right, had said to me that, oh, they wanted to talk to me about the plagiarism stuff. Well, it turns out it was all load of bullshit, right? Because then I asked, hey, was it by any chance a person named Creepy Joe? And she asked me, well, how do you know by this name? And she looked at me with wide eye, like, was shocked. So I well, I know about this person, right? Because I met this person in the cafeteria. So I explained to her, like, how his name was Creepy Joe and whatnot. And she asked me saying, like, okay, do you know him by any other name? I'm like, what do you mean by any other name? Well, he has at one point gone by Creepy Zach, Creepy Dom, which, by the way, his actual name turned out to be Creepy Dom. Motherfucker, his name is actually Creepy Dom. So this entire town, this whole story that I am explaining to you guys, yeah, this guy literally pulled a William Afton. You ever watched that one scene in Five Nights at Freddy's, like the movie, and Vanessa Shelley is just talking to Michael Schmidt about who's Mike's brother killer is, and you see that, you ever get that one chill where, like, Vanessa tells who the killer is, oh my gosh, my English, and just says straight up, his name is William Afton. Like, I got chills in my, my spine. Oh my god. I got chills in my spine. And I'm feeling that moment, because this creep has literally just pulled a William Afton, just lying about his name, dude. Like, oh my god. Like, what is your end game? So I was mad. I was like, yo, I want to fight this guy. I want to beat the shit out of him. Like, there's no way this guy is, like, just making this shit up. Like, oh my god. And he was, like, lying about everything. He was lying about the whole rumors. He was lying about literally everything. Everything. Oh yeah, and it turns out the guy, by the way, notice that his name is Creepy Dom. The sergeant, who he mentioned by the way, Dom is the one that mentioned you. Well, now I know who it is. It was Creepy Joe all along. Or Creepy Dom. I'm sorry. His actual name is Creepy Dom. Anyways, yeah, and then I ended up telling Kara about this. Now, remember how I said that OCD can mess up person? Now, this is where I became somewhat of a villain. I kept overthinking that Kara was also probably behind this. I mean, I kind of just met her, and I guess I kind of fueled it. She never came with me, and I don't know, it was not fair to her, and I thought she was also part of it, and it just wasn't fair. Then I realized how wrong I was, and then I kept overseeing that, oh, great, Kara probably does not want to talk to me anymore. And yeah, she got angry with me. She got fed up with me. And yeah, after the whole situation, she and I never talked. She didn't like any of what happened. Not that because the whole accusation, it was because she didn't want to be dragged into it. And Cara, if you're watching this, I am really am. I'm sorry. I wish I got to tell you this. You know, if you ever actually came across this video, it was my fault, and from that night, after she and I stopped talking, I had a mental breakdown because I had no idea what was wrong with me. Like, I was confused. Started crying. I'm pretty sure I banged my head on a table. And I wasn't sure if I was bleeding or not. I think I was bleeding a little bit, but oh god. And nah. Y'all might think I'm crazy, but I don't know. It was really my fault. And later on in life, I would eventually realize that the amount of overthinking, because once again, OCD can fuel your overthinking, and I'm not trying to blame my mental condition, even though I kind of 50% am blaming it, sort of. It was 50% my fault, but none of this would have ultimately happened if fucking creepy Dom could not have just said some whatever weird shit he said. He literally said that he wanted to sleep with me. Like, bro. And obviously, after figuring this out, I flamed him, blocked him on all my social media, and yeah, yeah. So yeah, creepy Dom, if you're watching this, go fuck yourself, dude. You honestly are so weird, cause yeah, and also a little advice: don't be following around guys. Like, it's weird. He did end up getting expelled from school because it turned out he had a lot of past history. I was not the only victim. And yeah, and Kara, if you are really watching this, I am so sorry. I did lose so many other friendship because of OCD. And you know, at first I thought that I was a monster, that there was just something wrong with me, but you know, eventually I got hospitalized and the doctor told me that this could happen if once you become obsessed with somebody, and it made all sense. That's a whole different story, but yeah, I lost a lot of other friends because of that, and I am very glad I'm being treated. But yeah, I don't know why I keep yapping about this. Yeah. To you, those who actually end up saying in the end of this video, thank you guys for watching. Let me know how you guys thought about this. I thought that was a crazy experience. I actually do have a part 2. More shit did happen after this. And this, I'll tell you, Creepy Dom wasn't done yet. So, if you guys want more, I could definitely make a part 2. And yeah. Leave a like, subscribe if you want. It's free. And yeah. And goodbye.